My name is Heather Feather. I am the owner of Rare Bird Medicine, and today's topic is Bless the Patriarchy. You're welcome, everybody. I'm here to say the things that nobody's saying. Happy to help. I am always astounded when I hear people talk about feminism and say things along with that, like smash the patriarchy. If we're going to talk about equality and the resonant frequency of equality of the sexes, what we're talking about is harmonious. What we're talking about is compassionate. What we're talking about is loving. What we're talking about is inclusive. What we're talking about is bridge building. It's not violent. Smash is an aggressive word. It's a separatist word. Smash the patriarchy is an anti-statement. It's not a pro-statement. It's not a bringing things together statement. And I usually want to say I understand, but I don't understand. I am a woman. Now, has it been difficult throughout my life in this Western culture to constantly be viewed as a body that can be gawked at, or, me being spoken to in ways as if all I am to offer a man is a body, not a mind, not an intelligence, not a soul, not a heart, not a depth of feeling? Yeah. Is it frustrating to get paid, nickels and peanuts compared to what men get paid in the same position? Yes, it's very difficult for those women out there that are single with children to feed their babies, for these low wages or low titles or low assessment of what a woman is capable of. Like, treating women like they are not as equally intelligent as a man to have a high competency position. All that can occur, sure, for women. Women can be physically abused by people that are larger than them, by males, in a heteronormative paradigm. Even outside of it, you can get assaulted. You can get assaulted. You can have sexual assault experiences. And now, what I'll say is some of what I just said can also occur for men. As a medicine woman, I've had men share very tender, intimate things with me, and some of those things include the sexual assault they face. So we step into an age where we're talking about Me Too, and that sounds like an inclusive statement, but I don't hear any conversation around the men that have been assaulted by their parents, assaulted by an uncle, assaulted by a neighbor, assaulted by a woman. I've had men tell me very tender, sweet, intimate stories about how they were with women that were very sexually aggressive. Now, granted, the woman was probably sexually aggressive because she was assaulted, and it's just everybody's pouring poison in everybody's cups. But I don't think that, I don't think we're going to get to equality without considering the whole, without considering everyone involved. If you're talking about equality of the sexes, it includes theys, gender queers, those that don't identify with a marker of male or female, and, not being transphobic. It includes as well male rights. There can be a very normative pressure placed on men that they must produce and bear fruit and have bauble and golden coin to. Now, granted, they're in a culture that affords that. Here, have some golden coin. You are a man. And I've watched the stress that men can often face, feeling that they have to live up to this place of a certain level of financial accord in order to have worth and value in a given society. They can be invalidated for being loving, kind to children. Everyone's like, why are you being nice to my child, you pervert? It's like, I'm just a loving man. You know what I mean? It's like, there are a lot of things that men go through in our culture. The pressure that they face to show up in a certain way. The pressure that we put on them. And I often say, in my opinion, which, we're all opinion sacks, all opinions could potentially be wrong. In my opinion, it is an egregious crime, a humanitarian crime, to tell a two-legged that they do not have the right to feel. Feeling is our nature. How do we know? The first thing most babies will do when they come into this plane is cry. Crying is a part of our nature. But many men are conditioned, especially in Western culture, to believe that what they can do is they can be angry or they can be happy. but they better not cry because then they're weak. So although it is unfortunate to have been paid less throughout my life as a woman who has nearly a 130 IQ, it's frustrating, sure. To me, is not as egregious of a crime as being told that my innate matrix is invalidated and I'm less than or lack strength if I am grieve or I'm sad or I'm hurt or I'm heartbroken. And I'm not, in some veins we're comparing apples and oranges here. I'm just saying, it's also been terrible to be assaulted so much throughout my life by men. If we're going to talk about feminism and if we're going to talk about equality of the sexes, if you're going to talk about equality, that's a compassionate aim. That's an evolved aim. That is a high-flying disc of awareness in which we go, hey, let's maybe consider that people should be treated equally irrespective of the genitalia they were born with. What a novel idea. Maybe they should be treated equally irrespective of their skin color as well, or their sexual identification. So as we move towards more evolved thoughts, I personally am never able to view it as anything other than devolving from the aim when we bring in aggressive, hostile energy towards the other group. If we're going to look at all the traumas and tragedies that African slaves faced when they were brought over here to the States and were enslaved, and everything that they went through, and what that terrible crime against humanity, against a group of sacred souls has done to their DNA, to their RNA, to the intelligence in their body that gets handed down, and that abuse that from people believing they can own another that gets handed down through their line, the violence they had to face and how that violence gets handed down, the sexual assault they had to face potentially from the master that then gets handed down. It's terrible. And it's a beautiful aim, and it's a holy aim, and it's a sacred aim to say, like, hey, Black lives matter. Hey, Asian lives matter. Like there can be a lot of ignorance around somebody being Muslim or somebody having a different faith tradition than the Western Christian. Not everybody's Christian, God apparently created, God's created, goddesses created, spirit created, the divine energy created, just like all the different types of flowers, many different types of bodies and philosophies and gender identifications and sexual identifications. The spirit of things is diversity. Just look around. How many types of clouds have you seen in a lifetime? How many types of coins are there on Earth? It's a diverse realm. And so if you see that you have a problem, like, wow, there's this problem, this white oppressiveness of racism, that can occur in the judicial system or, any of this. If you have a problem, the first thing to consider is, why is the problem there? Why do we have a patriarchal culture? Let's consider this for a moment, shall we? It is not because men are being cared for and stewarded in our culture. And that's the misnomer, because we act like the reason we have a patriarchy is because men get all the coins and they get the good jobs and it's so easy for them. And there are men driving a car right now that all they can think about is wrapping it around a pole. There are men that have faced war that have suicidal ideation every day. There are men that weren't taught how to deal with their emotions, and they're deeply in love with a woman that they don't know, or a man that they don't know how to offer what is sought, as far as like to aid their partner when they're grieving, to aid their partner when they're sad. They don't have the tools in their toolkit to give the love that they want to give in that moment of now. So if you're having a problem, it is because someone else is having a problem. If you've had any suffering in this life, I've had a bunch. Maybe you have too. Hey, What's going on there? Why are we having all this suffering? Let's see. It could be because hurt people hurt people. It could be because people that are suffering sometimes cause more suffering because they haven't found the antidote, they haven't found the medicine, they haven't found the tools in their toolkit to be different today. So compassion is the answer. Understanding is the answer. Love is the answer from my perspective. So, if we want to create greater openness, if we want to heal racism and xenophobia, we have to come to understand, why are there certain races that are so oppressive? What is going on with that race that they're being so oppressive to other races? Technically, all races have been oppressive to somebody somewhere at some point, because there are oppressive humans with all identifications, as I've said before, and there are exalted humans that show us how far we can get, how close we can get to divinity in our expression as a part of humanity. So, when I think of men, when you say smash the patriarchy, are you saying smash the Dalai Lama? Are you saying smash Thich Nhat Hanh? It's like, what are we talking? Are you saying smash these beautiful men? Is that what you're saying? Are you saying smash, the men in our society that are spiritual leaders, the men in our society that are doing heart-centered work, those that are helping the homeless, those that are helping orphans, trying to make a difference in children's lives, planting forests right now, supporting biological diversity? Because the statement itself, it's a hateful statement, it's a separatist statement, it's a wall-building statement, it's a non-inclusive statement, and it is not now, nor will it ever be, a feminist statement. Feminism means equality of the sexes. And if I, as a female, do not want to be mistreated or treated irreverently simply because of the genitalia I would say I chose to come in with for my own evolution and soul growth, because I believe we have choice on the other side just like we do here, I don't want to garner these freedoms by oppressing a different gender. I don't want to go, oh yay, now I'm free as a woman because now I get paid more and people don't sexually harass me or assault me. But good thing we have our foot on the neck of all these men. I don't want freedom that comes at the price of love, of being unable to love another, being unable to be compassionate for another. So when I say bless the patriarchy, bless the white male, what is it we're judging the most as a culture? We're judging men pretty heavily, in my experience, because a lot of places, and I try to stay off of the news, I don't watch it at all, but in general, social media outside of posting these videos. But still, even at the limited time I'm on there posting a video, it's like, yep, there's another hateful article about men, and here's another hateful article about white supremacy and hurt people, people that are suffering cause more suffering. If you are loved, if you are given attention, if you are generously listened to, if you are stewarded as a soul, if you are given a medicinal balm, if you are given the saint-like exalted liquid gold of a steward that was my mother, for example, you're not running around shanking people and being a jerk and trying to take their baubles and their coins, and you know what I mean? Because you were given love and attention. And now, there are traumas that I've faced that I've had to learn over time. Wow, that trauma has caused me to shake out less than I am and to offer less. And I need to be attentive to that. Some of my trauma may cause me to be hypersexualized, for example. So I need to be attentive to that because I'm a deeply loyal monogamous woman. So I watch myself. Don't let any of that poison be in me or shake out of me in any way. Let me be a steward of how I am being honorable to my word each day when it comes to romantic relationship or anything of this nature. The question today is, do you choose to be compassionate to those that struggle with being loving to you? We weren't all given great teachers down here. Can we take a moment, instead of jumping to fear and separation and false evidence appearing real, and consider what suffering might cause a being to hand you suffering? You can always subscribe to Rare Bird Medicine on YouTube, like and comment there, and there are always services at rarebirdmedicine.com. Blessed be.